Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that be linked with a January transfer move to Arsenal. Just before I get into the transfers, I've got to say rest in peace going out to Gianluca Vialli, who passed away sadly today, age 58. I was really shocked when I heard that news. We're talking about transfers now, and I remember he was one of the first sort of big transfers to come into the Premier League when I was sort of, growing up. I remember him going to Chelsea, and I also remember him playing at Sampdoria, Juventus. He was a brilliant player for Italy. Remember, he's in charge of Italy with Mancini at the Euros. And to hear that he's passed away from cancer is really, really sad news. So rest in peace to him. A real legend of the Italian football, legend for Chelsea as well. Even though I'm an Arsenal fan, it's really, really sad to see. So rest in peace, Gianluca Vialli. And on the subject of Chelsea, of course, they lost last night to Manchester City. Didn't do us a favour. What was Kepa, by the way, their goalkeeper, doing on that goal that Man City scored? Listen, I've still got a lot of heart in watching it because I still think that Arsenal are playing better football than Man City. But listen, what we saw yesterday is that they have got an unbelievable squad, Man City. That is the difference between us and them at the moment. And that's one of the reasons why most people make them the favourites. The other night against Newcastle, really, really tight game. We don't really bring anybody on. We bring on Tomiyasu. We haven't got no sort of forward players to bring on and change the game. I know we've got a lot of injuries, etc., but we had nobody to bring on. They're able to bring on Jack Grealish and Mahrez. I think they brought on about £160 million worth of talent, and that's what changed the game for them. And despite them not playing great, they managed to win the game by 1-0. So that is why we need to bolster our squad at Arsenal. That is why we need more attacking options at Arsenal on that bench if we are to sustain this title charge. And I think it was clear to see yet another example for our board to see what we need this January transfer window. Now, Mudryk is the guy that we're trying to get at the moment. And of course, we know that Chelsea want him as well. And what compounded things really was, as soon as the game started, Raheem Sterling going off injured, and then Pulisic going off injured as well. Two wide players. All of a sudden now, they have more of a need to get Mudryk in at Chelsea. So this is a real sort of tug of war now going on between Arsenal and Chelsea for the signature of Mudryk. Also, if you add to it the fact that the director of Shakhtar Donetsk, who goes by the name of Dirigio Suna, he was at Stamford Bridge last night. I also noticed that he was out for dinner before that game with Eduardo, ex-Arsenal player, and also with Willian, ex-Arsenal player as well. Of course, he went out to dinner with them also because they were both previously at Shakhtar Donetsk. But he was at Stamford Bridge last night, and it was said that he was going to be holding talks with Chelsea over the move for Mudryk. Now, what was very interesting is that our friend Mudryk again liked another post. Right. This time, the post, I don't know the name of the guys who did this post. Let me credit them. I'll try to find their names, right? Is it Mudryk Design? They did this sort of design of Mudryk in this sort of draped in this cloak with all sort of Arsenal, Gunners stuff on it. And they wished him a happy birthday, and he liked it. Listen, he definitely wants to come to Arsenal. As a matter of fact, the talk is, despite the fact that Chelsea really, really want him, he wants Arsenal, and he wants Arsenal only. Now, it's slowing things down because, Arsenal want to get him in ASAP, get him training, up to speed with the team so he can get him going. But this whole Chelsea saga is slowing things down. Shakhtar are playing it perfectly because they're trying to get as much money out of the deal as possible. One of the directors are there yesterday saying that, listen, we're in no hurry to sell him, which I don't believe. And also we don't need to sell him, which again, they want the, he was saying they don't need the money. I'm sorry, they want the money. But £85 million is way too much. I think Arsenal have got their ceiling they're going to go to. And as I keep saying day in, day out, the big advantage they've got is the player wants to come to Arsenal. A bit like what happened to us last year when we were trying to get Vlahovic and we were bidding more money than Juventus, but the player wanted to go to Juventus. Juventus ended up pulling out of the deal and... Arsenal ended up pulling out of the deal when they realised that he didn't want to come to Arsenal and he went to Juve. Hopefully a similar thing's going to happen with this, but with the player coming to Arsenal. So we keep watching it, we keep observing it, but at the moment, despite Chelsea right in there pushing, I still think we are favourites to sign Mudryk and get him done at Arsenal. If we don't, there is an alternative that Arsenal are looking at, and that is Hervin Lozano, of Napoli. Now, Mexican international, he's playing at the World Cup. Really, really talented player. I remember him from when he was at PSV. He was excellent. He's 27 now, though. A right winger. And according to the publication La Repubblica, they claim that both Arsenal and Newcastle are interested in signing him. It's amazing now. Literally every player we get linked to, Newcastle are linked to as well. His contract's up in 2024. He scored 30 goals and 16 assists in 134 appearances for Napoli. That doesn't exactly pull up trees, but he's said to be possibly available. Now, before he went to Napoli, he's one of the most exciting wingers out there. He's kind of dropped off in recent times, but could Arsenal make a move for him? I still think Mudryk is the one. Maybe Arsenal are sort of putting this out there to say that, listen, get on with this, Shakhtar. Just the same like how you're saying, you know, we got alternatives as well. A lot of brinkmanship going on. Or are they really interested in him? We're going to have to wait and see. João Felix, again, another player that Arsenal have been heavily linked to from Atletico Madrid. I don't have to go over all the scenarios and the fact that the loan fee they're looking for and this loan deal until the end of the season and the wages, etc. I've spoken about it on so many shows. But the two teams that have said to be really interested in him are Manchester United and Arsenal. However, there are a lot of reports going around today saying that Manchester United have cooled their interest. They're not really interested in João Felix anymore, and they're moving on and looking at other targets. And Arsenal would have an open run on getting the João Felix deal done. And that also, according to like some of the pundits like David Ornstein, Arsenal are interested in João Felix. Now, again, if you've got players like this to come off the bench or even start games, you know, it adds to the quality of the side. It means that you're getting more goals into the side. I would love to see this happen as a loan deal. But I think if it does happen, and that's a big if, it will be something that happens later on in the window. I think Arsenal are going to push to try and get the Mudryk one done as soon as possible. Something like this, they're going to want that loan fee to come right down before they deal, and that's going to require sort of pushing it out towards the end of the transfer window, although we could do with a player like this right now. Now, I've spoken on the show earlier on this week about Evan Ndicka, who is the left-sided centre-back who plays for Eintracht Frankfurt, tipped to join Arsenal in the summer. There's a lot of publications over there in Germany that are saying that a deal's already been agreed for him to join Arsenal in the summer. However, a publication called Sport 1 over there in Spain are reporting that Barcelona are very, very interested in him and will attempt to hijack the deal. They would like to bring in Ndicka to Barcelona, which of course always poses a problem. Barcelona, we remember with the Rafinha deal, how they managed to get him away. But Barcelona said to be interested in Evan Ndicka. Again, I don't think this is going to be a January deal. Arsenal in no hurry, I don't think, for the left-sided centre-back right now, but it could be a deal that we see happen in the summer. And also, what's going to happen with Marquinhos? Marquinhos, the other night, an unused substitute. Remember when we bought him in from Brazilian football? The real sort of talk was he was going to go out on loan, but he did very well in training. Featured for Arsenal in a couple of early Europa League games. Remember him scoring against FC Zurich. Featured in a couple of Carabao Cup games, but has not really played a lot of football for Arsenal. They like him at Arsenal, but they want to get him playing football. Now, especially if Mudryk comes in and also maybe a João Felix, he's not going to get any game time, is he? So there's a lot of talk that if the Mudryk deal happens, Marquinhos will be sent out on loan. At the moment, there's no team that's been suggested, but they would like to get him out on loan and playing football week in, week out. Certainly, you can see when he's played in certain games, he's a real talent. Be interesting to see if he plays on Monday night against Oxford United. I love his blistering pace. I love the fact that he's really passionate. You could see he really wants to make it at Arsenal, but he needs game time. So with certain, wide players coming in, and then remember, you still got players like Reece Nelson to come back, Jesus from injury, Smith Rowe's coming in. He's not going to really figure, is he? Get him some game time, so he might be going out on loan. Those are the rumours today. Listen, thanks very much for watching the show. Don't forget to check out all of our content. We're previewing the game against Oxford United on Monday in the FA Cup. Really, really looking forward to that. Listen, I hope that we can not do what we did last year when we went out early and get a win in that game. But really, really looking forward to that. So make sure you check out our content. Check out the Invincible podcast where, we ask the question, does the FA Cup really matter this year? Now that we're in this title race, watch the show. It's really, really good with lead judges. But thanks for watching the show. Don't forget to subscribe here to AFTV. We've hit over 1.5 million subscribers here on YouTube. So please subscribe, like the video, leave us some comments. I'm loving those, and I'll see you tomorrow. Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.